Well, going guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. I wanted to speak on this really quickly because it's kind of, it's sad at the end of the day. It's a very sad story, right? You have this OnlyFans model. Her name is Rebecca J. And I believe the Bellator champion. I'm not too sure if he won his last fight, but she was on social media trending not too long ago because there was a story out about her and the Bellator champion. Basically, he drops like 85K. He's undefeated too, by the way. Drops 85K shopping spree on her. And you know what? Not hating in any type of capacity, but this, obviously this is like just some regular type lady, right? Still like a nice looking lady, right? I'm not, no way am I diminishing any type of returns that she's garnished. But what I'm saying is she's kind of like just an average looking lady, right? She just decides to, display this image and, this social media presence of her, via her OnlyFans page. And she makes content there as well. And she has like these other videos on her IG, basically like, the funny comedy video type stuff. She's going in that dimension, and it's nothing bad at all, really. But when you get to the OnlyFans, that's when you get into hot water. And basically, she tries to get a regular job. That's the funny part, right? But in all honesty, it's not funny because that's real life. She's trying to she's trying to feed herself, right? She's trying to switch lanes. She's trying to do something else, right? But what she has chosen to do is now catching up to her. And basically the hospital that hired her probably didn't do their due diligence or wasn't expecting this, and which is kind of normal, but it basically just parted ways with her, like, we can't let you work here because of your social media presence. And they escorted her off the premises. As you can see there, she was definitely, you can tell she's upset. This is not a laughing matter. She's definitely upset. She was upset that she was getting filmed getting walked out, right? And the thing is, your actions have it's cause and effects. There's ramifications that come with things that you do. And a lot of times, and I can't even get too deep into this, but a lot of times you see people acting. I remember what I told you, people are just doers. They just do. I've said that in the past, okay? I've said that in the past. Like, you have some people, and it's good to do works, right? Go out and be a doer, go and do things, but to a certain degree, you feel me? It's like, to what end? You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to kind of like, you have to be a planner. You have to know, you have to have an A, B, and C. You just can't go out there and do whatever, and then you expect what from that. This lady, and then there's this thing like all the nurses. Well, it's not. I wouldn't say all nurses are like that, but it's a saying that like nurses are like promiscuous. And then you have this lady getting, anybody in scrubs is promiscuous. That's what they were saying, right? But of course, you have this OnlyFans model. She's like, hey, she wants to help people, and you know what? I'm gonna become a nurse or whatever. So she gets hired and gets fired, probably like within the first week for sure. But it's sad because it's like I can see that that's not going to mesh well. Maybe she finds a place where they allow that. Hey, who knows, right? Maybe that could have some functionality to it. But what I'm saying is, it is so sad. And then there's a stigma to content creators of that sort, where you have these tragic incidents, right? You have overdoses, which we just heard of recently, right? It was basically a woman in this same type of industry. She actually overdosed, and I think she's still in a coma or some type of, she's unconscious at the moment. I'm not too sure what the next step is for that, but that stigma is attached to that, specifically that work. Okay. And some people, I just don't get it. You feel me? Like, okay, there's money involved in it. Okay, I definitely get that part, the money part, right? But then, like, how long do you think this is gonna last? You feel me? Like, what type of post clarity do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. And yeah, she just got on an 85K shopping spree, but it's like, shopping, really? You feel me? Like, come on. You're gonna have to feed yourself. You feel me? That's some things that you're gonna have to do. You're not, you have to be to a certain standard. You have to have your life to a certain standard for you to even be able to, I won't say accept, but to appreciate being taken out on shopping sprees. If you cannot cover the basics, then you really can't enjoy things like that, right? And once again, that's what I'm saying. It's not like, it just looks like a regular chick. If I would have seen this lady in scrubs, I wouldn't have not thought twice that this is just like a normal lady in scrubs, right? I'm pretty sure the same thing anybody else, right? Or many other people would probably come to that assumption, but obviously they had to run the background check and they found all that type of stuff. So it's like, it's sad at the end of the day, because you really messed up on that one, and it's not something where you can laugh and be like, oh, this lady has basically entrapped herself in this industry, in this type of work, to where this is how she has made it to the point where it's difficult to hire you. It's difficult to, for somebody to accept you on board because of your social media presence. Okay. And then that stuff follows you. And I've seen where a lady had an OF account. She was advertising it on her car window. She goes to pick her son up from school. They end up telling her, don't come with that car. Then they end up just kicking the son out of school, and it's like, nah, just forget about it. Don't even come here. And she's all on the news or whatever, and like her and her husband like on the OF together. Her husband didn't even show up because she went to the news. She was sitting on the news couch telling them this story, and they're like, wow, right? Because and they covered it. It's a story, it's news, but it's just, and the husband did not even bother to show up, which it's something called shame. You feel me? You wear it. It's shame. That's something that's shameful, right? Not to say I'm not shaming anybody, right? I'm not doing that, but people kind of know when they're wrong. When you're in the wrong, and sometimes people can accept that, and that's what it is. That's just what it is. And it's like I said, I'm not hating on nobody. I'm not doing any of that. You're right. Like, beautiful woman, if you want to say that. But my thing is, like, where does the clarity come in at? Like, when do you think, like, to yourself, like, okay, what's the longevity to this? How long is this really going to last? Like, can you keep this up? And she just tries to slide back into civilian lifestyle. And it's like, people are, yeah, you can do that to a certain degree where people are not going to know you. But when it comes to things like where people are going to have to look at your background and scrub your background, you're going to be sniffed out. People are going to find you out. And that's what happens a ton of, I'm not hating, right? But that's what happens a ton of times. You have people do one thing, but then they're going to show another thing with their hand. Like, you're this way. This is what no one's going to come out and just tell you that. But there are rules and law. There's rules, law, all these things are in place, and they're running simultaneously. But the thing is, you have to be a thinker. You have to know that. You have to be like, okay, what kind of speed bumps am I going to run into going down the? It is very. You just. I mean, to say the least, right? That's a real incident. This is a famous woman who's trying to. And I got another story where I'm not even going to share it, but it's just so. It's ludicrous. The level of thinking where people think they're just going to be accepted, back into society after, living and displaying this lewd lifestyle. And it's like, nah, man, you gotta start over. You gotta do something different. And that's the reality of that type of lifestyle. And you have it's hip, it's posh. You have a lot of people coming out. That's what I'm saying. If you just keep doing the right thing, you're going to end up passing a lot of individuals. And you know what? She probably had her certification. She probably could do the work, right? She probably could, if need be a nurse. She probably could do the daily tasks and daily functions it takes to fill that position. But what she has done outside of work has caused her to not be able to even step into that arena. And a lot of times you have to look at it and you have to kind of just see situations like this, situational circumstances, case by case. You have to kind of look at it, and then you could just kind of see it's many different situations. I'll say that it's many different situations that you can plug and go. And I don't want to make this video too long, but I just felt like, the situation, like when somebody gets, checked, right? Somebody gets checked and they wasn't expecting it to get checked, and you're like, ooh, that one was like, that one hurt. Or somebody gets gut checked, right? Somebody gets hit in the gut, in the liver, and you're like, ooh, I know that one hurt. I know it hurt. We're gonna play it off like it didn't hurt, but I know that will hurt. You feel me? And it's just one of those situations. But that's a word to the wise, because you got people that's gonna go out here and they're gonna blow up. They're gonna blow. That's why I say I'm not hating. Once again, I'm not hating, because that you want to be congratulatory to people like that. That they have an audience that just takes to them automatically for what they're doing. But it's like, it's sad, because that's stuff that that's not going to work on everybody. That's not going to work on everybody. Like, oh, you know what? I was young and nah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But once again, I just want to say that, I really could go in a little bit, but I don't want to make this video too long. Nice young lady, could be, living a nice, decent life, probably having the same things more or less, right? But she chose to cash in on, a season of high returns versus, something that was gonna be that was gonna have longevity into it. But yeah, she probably can definitely live continue to live a nice lifestyle just from her regular content. But obviously she's trying to, it's something that we don't know, so she's definitely trying to switch up. It's not always greener on the other side, and just by her actions, I'm not too sure what was going on. But hopefully, I hope the best for her. But I that was one of those things where you walk into, you think the door's open, but you walk right into the door, and it's just like, that was one of those embarrassing moments. But I had to give my 2 cents on it. Hope everything's going well, and peace, guys. I'm out.